So let's move forward. We have very two special guests with us, and I'll be introducing them later on. Srinvanti will be introducing them later on. Srinvanti and Pragna. I'll just move forward with a tour of what Esummit journey was. And first of all, the podcast. We would have loved to host you guys in our own Jadavpur University campus, but unfortunate time, hard days. So here's a quick virtual tour of our campus during Esummit.
I'm waking up, I'm feeling in my bones to make my system grow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Radioactive, radioactive.
Very nice. Brings back a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
we are here to talk about those nostalgias, right?
Yes, I was in campus, I think, last on 2011, not after that. So yeah.
Yeah, the Techie and the Salt Lake campus has been bring forward to by all the designers and everyone, and we
Right,
are
right,
happy to have that. So
Only
over,
used to go there to play cricket. The ground
yeah,
was so good. This one.
the
Yeah.
CAB ground, it was actually
Right, right,
fantastic, and still now, like we used to go there for practice and everything.
right. Yes.
So over to Srinvanti, the MC for the starting.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fourth session of Inspiratalks, Esummit'21. In the hustle and bustle of academics, we are here to give you a soothing relief while learning about entrepreneurship from the experts themselves. Mr. Shayantan Ghosh, in conversation with Mr. Dipankar Biswas, will be sharing the tips and tricks involved in entrepreneurship. We have with us today Mr. Dipankar Biswas, the CEO and co-founder of FlipItNews, a leading startup hiring data scientists. He has also been at the helm of several top-notch companies. Dipankar Da is also an alumnus of Jadavpur University, Department of CSE, batch 2009. He has also been an alumnus of IIM Kozhikode. His startup is all set to revolutionize the way Indians perceive finance, business, and capital market investment and boost it through AI and ML. It aims to combat lack of financial knowledge.
Thanks for the introduction.
For today's session, we also have with us Mr. Shayantan Ghosh, who will be interviewing Dipankar today. Shayantan is an analyst at Arsagium and the founder of SG Consultants. He is also an alumnus of Jadavpur University, Department of Chemical Engineering, batch of 2019, as well as IIM Indore. Before we move on to the session, I would like to inform everyone that this is an interactive session, and during the session, you all can ask your queries by simply typing them in the chat box. Now I would like to request Shayantan to kindly take over the proceedings of the session. Over to you, Shayantan.
Hey, hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so just give me a minute. I'm sorting out the camera issue.
That's fine.
I've joined from 2 accounts. Can you give the access to both the accounts since I use a separate device for the video?
Sure. I'm looking into this.
Yeah, please.
Shanavas, are you there?
Yeah, it's done.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So I'll be starting this type of fireside chat. So first, I would like to have a brief conversation with Dipankar about his days at JU. However, it's 4 years since I saw he passed away in 2009. So it's quite been a time. So how was your time here?
It's long back. It's almost now 12, 13 years, right? This one. So I was in computer science department back then, right? So yeah, we have classes both in Jadavpur campus as well as Salt Lake campus. We used to keep traveling in the 3rd year, 4th year. But as you know how JU days are, right? It's less about classes and more about cricket, sitting outside, chilling.
Fun and frolic.
Not like rushing for the last hour classes to make sure you have enough attendance, right? So all those things. So yeah, it was more like that. It was not like I was studying all the time and all. So that was fun-filled days. So good experience. Well, Jadavpur days, the initial few weeks, first 2 years were okay. It was good. Last 2 years, it's like once you know how things are. So it was good experience. The best part is I met a lot of good friends there, right? That's the best part. So there's one of my friends who was in classmate. So he also started one company in fintech. He was back in 2009. So we are also doing a lot of things together right now. So we are launching a few things that is called basket investment, right? So this is called, so instead of investing in one single stock, you can invest in a basket of stocks, right? So
it's similar to a small case, right?
Similar to small case, right. And so he's he started the company called Wealth Desk, right?
Yes,
so,
yeah.
So bringing that platform in our ecosystem. So yeah, so that is something. So we met by accident. I didn't know he was doing that. He didn't know I was doing this. Okay. So one of them in our company was trying to reach Wealth Desk. And then I saw this is Ujjal. This is my classmate. Okay. So this started. Yeah. So that was a good fun part. Good days. But after that, I worked for a few companies and did MBA. And then worked again in a lot of companies and finally started it just after COVID. So when the lockdown started, then it's began and now in this good space. This is. So you are also from JU, right?
Yeah, I'm quite recent. I'm from the 2019 batch.
Okay.
So after that, I've done MBA. I initially entered IIM Indore and a joint program in IIM Indore and Delhi University. It's an MBA core finance. And during the first year, through the help of the entrepreneurship cell and also the Delhi government, I founded SG Consultants. So it's also, the mission is almost similar to increase the financial literacy and bring more under the term of finance, because only by the financial strength can the country fully develop. If the person have more money and they become financially independent. Since now we are looking at 60, earlier 60 used to be the retirement age. But now everyone is saying we can retire by 45, 50 if we are financially independent.
Yes.
So that was one of our missions.
Okay. Awesome. So you're based out of Delhi?
Yeah, it's Delhi.
We should definitely catch up then. I'm based out of
Okay.
Gurgaon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this,
Yeah. Okay.
okay. So my next question for you would be like, what was your motivation behind your FlipItNews?
So motivation is like how it started. I'll give you the background, right? So this is something. So it's like started with a very small thing, right? So then we kept pivoting. It's not like we had the entire vision on day zero, right? So this is something. It's not like you don't know what you're trying to build, right? So you experiment. We start with small things. So thing is like, so I used to invest in capital market for long, like for 5-6 years. But when the COVID started, we had a lot of time, right? So from an investor, I became trader, right? So trader in the sense, I wanted to make quick money, right? So it's like on a day-to-day basis, I have money, I want to invest in the morning. So it's like intraday as well as swing trader, something like that. Okay. So then we saw a problem. So the main problem was like, see, like I suppose I have a portfolio of 20 stocks, right? I'm doing swing trading. The swing, people who don't know, swing trading is like you're investing today and selling it in next 2-3 days, not like in the same day, right? This is the thing. So I was a portfolio of say 10-12 stocks. For me, the problem was in the morning, like used to wake up at 9 and start Googling. So it's like what is happening around those stocks, right? So because we know the intraday is entirely driven by sentiments, and sentiments is driven by news, right? So you know there is something coming up in the market, right? So you have seen how the stocks like Yes Bank, right, or Vodafone, how they're swinging in the market, right? It's purely based on sentiment. There is no, you cannot make any fundamental analysis or technical analysis. They will swing like that way. So you know the government saying, okay, I'll bail out this company, suddenly it will jump 30%, right? Or there is a problem, it will go down. So I saw, like in my experience, I saw for the long-term investment, you need to do all kind of analysis, fundamental or technical, anything you know. But the intraday is purely driven by sentiments. So I used to wake up in the morning and say, seeing these are the companies, this is happening in the market, and for me, that became a very tedious job, like how to go about it, right? So then I thought, what if I build something? So I will say, this is my portfolio, right? And if there isn't any update in the market, the system will send me a push notification. Okay. Then that way I don't need to wake up every morning and start Googling, right? So then, so there is one guy, Dipto, he's also tech co-founder for the company. And I also used to work, started one company long back with him. So I knew him for long, right? So we spoke. I told him, so there is a scope in the market. And we built a very small MVP. And back then I was still working for a company, right? It's a very small MVP. It's like, and I shared with 100 people, right? So in my close network, and 100 people is very easy because stock market is driven by Telegram and WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
So I joined 10-30 such WhatsApp groups and shared with those people. And we saw out of those 100 people, more than 50 is using it on a daily basis. Right. So we saw there is a market fit. So what it was, very simple first product. You define your portfolio. If there is any update in the market, you'll get notification. As simple as that. That is the first MVP. And then we saw people, they don't want to read long newses. That is a problem, right? So we thought, what if we create something like InShorts purely for stock market? Back then it was a stock market game, right?
Yes.
And, so it's like InShorts for stock market, but with a 50-word summary. Something like that. Okay. So then we created the first version of the product that was kind of InShorts for stock market. We created AI algorithm. So that will create an automated summary of the news. So there was no human layer back then as well. Okay. So we are creating the news summary automatically, fetching all the data from the internet, from the RSS feeds, from different APIs and all. And we launched the first version of the product and put it in the Play Store. And we saw like within first 3 months, we got without any ads or anything, right? So we didn't do any kind of promotion and all. And we saw within first few months, we got more than 10,000 downloads. So that was the point. We understood there is a need in the market, right? And then we got serious about it. I think, okay, this will work right now, right? And then we saw, then the main thing is the stock market is a very niche market, like 2-3% of the population use stock market, right? And they invest in stock market. And even we see 2-3% out of them, maybe 30% of those 2-3% is actually active. The rest are like, okay, I invest one time, they make loss and they leave the market. As simple as that, right? And then we broaden the horizon, and we saw instead of making it something specific to stock market, make it something specific to investment as well as business. So that was the first version of the app. We launched it was a business news and capital market and investment news. And there's an in-shorts kind of app with the added layer of instant notification for your portfolio. So then we started pivoting, we started creating all the research kind of thing. Like people, they came. We also on Daisy created the discussion segment. So we know people want to discuss and ask with, learn from each other. That was the purpose of the Telegram and Instagram groups, right? So we saw, we bring them here because that is our primary promotional channel. We used to give the link to Telegram group or a WhatsApp group, and people are coming from there to here. So that was the start. And then we built the research part, and then we saw there's a crazy traction. Like within few, so that back then it's like, if you ask me what was the investment, we invested less than lakh in building the. Till that time, we reached more than 40,000 users. Okay, downloads. And then we started put more money. So we left job and all, put money there. We started raising funds. Okay. And then that was the beginning. And then we understood it's not only about the news. We need a guided learning experience for people who come to the market and they have no clue. So in the long run, vision is like something like you want to know anything about the Paytm IPO. You come to a circle. The circle is a social media platform we launched recently. You come to circle, search Paytm IPO. Whatever you're supposed to know, you will know. So that is the long-term vision. And also from there, you can directly apply in Paytm IPO. So right now it's a purely informational, and you will see in the next few releases, we'll enabling transaction. So transaction in the sense, you can buy stocks from here. You can invest in mutual funds. You can invest in crypto as well. Right.
Okay.
So that is the beginning, and now things are good. We have like big team right now, so we have like more than reaching 500,000 downloads very soon. Okay.
Yes.
So so that's the scene right now. Okay.
So you are like basically using like web scraping technique, something like that, to fetch the news and compile it, or is it done like in a manual sort of process?
Yeah, so that is how we started initially. But like when you're a proper company, you cannot do that, right?
Yes.
So there is a lot of ways. So there is things like we have done API integration with a lot of players.
Okay.
We have done RSS feed integration. There is something called content syndication, right? So you take their permission to use their content.
Yes.
And on the top of that, you do not just copy and paste it. We create our own summary. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now the scraping was just when doing MVP part back then. Yeah. So that is how it started. Okay.
Yeah. So my next question would be like for like a UG student who is not that versed with finance. So how would you like start him or her to introduce as a part when you're entering the stock market? As you will see, many of our parents would say, no, it's too dangerous. You've heard of Harshad Mehta. He did this and it can happen again. So how would you like convince one, or how would you like educate one to just start investing in stock market?
So I won't ask someone who's new to the market to invest in stock market, first of all, right?
Okay.
So it's like, I would ask the person to invest, not necessarily in stock market, right? So our idea is like, say, you come to a platform where it's similar-minded people, right? And not necessarily you have to invest in stock market. You can start with mutual fund. So what is mutual fund? It's a fund managed by experts, right? And the chances of loss is very less. There are things like ETF right now, or there are things like small cases, wealth baskets, all those things right now. So that is something we want. But the idea is like, so initially, what was a trigger for us? Like, suppose I give you a tenth of what you did, you are doing smoke stock, right? Something. So similar kind of thing. You also have plans to launch in your app. So you have launching gamification and all. Suppose I give you 1 lakh worth of virtual coins, for example.
Yes.
And I'm saying I'm bringing the entire ecosystem of real stock market here. So I'm saying use this 1 lakh. We also have the recommendation section. It's not like we are providing it from the top brokers in the India, right? We're just enabler, as well as we create a summary of everything. So use that part, okay? And then you invest using virtual coin. See whether you are able to make profit or not, right? So ideas like learning is very simple. It's like no one learns from books, right? So whatever you have learned in engineering or during MBA, a very small part of it like actually works, right? This one. But when you're doing something, you actually know this is not okay. You learn while you're working on it, right? So the idea is like we give some virtual thing, invest in the market and see how it works. Second is like what we are doing right now. It's like, so we're creating a profile for every user. So what is a profile? It's like based on our interests. So one is like interest profile. One is like an intent profile. So I can join a circle, that is our app, but not necessarily I'm here to invest. I'm here just to know about mutual fund, but just know about gold or something like that. So there are different kind of people. So our idea is like there's a lot of content that's created in the market, and there are a lot of people who want to know about it. But whenever I open YouTube, it's like there's so much thing, right? I do not know how to start, where to start. So the idea is the longer run, we create that guided learning experience. This is where to start. Start with some virtual coin, invest in mutual fund, invest in stocks, invest in crypto, and see how the market works. Only when you're comfortable, then you start investing in the stocks. And also it's like, like for companies, like, for a company like that's like a very well established company. I cannot take any names. So for a PSU, right? This is not going to stop. This company, like maybe there's a fluctuation in the share price. Maybe from 2000, it might go 1,500, but it will bounce back, right?
Yes.
And start with a very small amount, 10,000, right? Or say 1,000, right? And then see how it works. And this is something, it's a crazy addiction. Once you start it, you will see this is something a very addiction. This is how the company actually started. When we started doing intraday, right? So it's like I used to wake up at 10 a.m. I started waking up at 8 a.m. to research about the market. It's a kind of challenge. So today I have to make 5% profit, right? So that kind of used to challenge each other. Okay. So then you created a small group and you used to challenge each other. We'll invest 10,000 today. Who makes the maximum profit, right? So that kind of thing used to do. And the idea is like the youth, when they feel they're challenged, right? This is something. So you can do it. And this is not a very rocket science, right? Everyone is investing in the market. We just talk about Harshad Mehta and all, but he didn't make loss because of investment, right? He was rigging the market, right? So I think this is a very, very simple game. Find a company, and the best part of investing in stock market is like you make money for someone else's effort.
Yes.
Right. When the company is going up, someone else is putting a lot of effort in the company, right? You just need to identify those people who are running their company strategically.
Yes.
Right. And put money in their company. It's a very simple thing. So yeah, it's like a best thing that can happen. So yes, so that's how I'll guide them. Start with small amount for stock market. Start with mutual funds. Then you can see how the gold market works. The ETF, wealth basket. There are a lot of instruments, right? But don't go for FD. That is my suggestion.
Yeah. Yes.
The waste of money. It's like the interest is less than the inflation.
Yes.
What's the point? Right. That's the thing.
Yeah. One of the things I liked what you told, like your sleep now it breaks at 8 and not at 10. It's true. Like you don't need to set an alarm. You'll automatically max by 8:30. You will get up and you will look at the markets, the Asian markets, SGX, and look at after that we'll go for
exactly. Just to check the SGX, so Singapore Stock Exchange, people don't know. So that has a huge impact on Indian stock market, right?
Yes.
So is to wake up to check what's happening in the SGX,
yes.
Right? That gives you a short karna hai, a long position lena, right?
Yes.
That kind of thing. That's how it works. And once you find passion in everything and one thing, like go all out. So this is something I want to do, right?
Yes.
So that is the idea.
Yeah. And another thing I would like to also elaborate on what Dipankar mentioned, like many people see stocks as just numbers and charts, but these are much more. These are like true businesses you have. Like if you're seeing Reliance, you're seeing Mukesh Ambani, what he is doing, coming up with the JioPhone Next, and how Jio like revolutionized the entire telecom industry. But many people only see that Reliance has gone up from 800 to 1500 and so much increase, let's short it. But it actually went up to 2200 because that was of the growing business. So people need to see the business behind the numbers as well.
So I'll give you an example. During the lockdown, I saw the stock of IRCTC, for example.
Yes.
So it's going down, but we all knew the lockdown will stop, right? And it's like the IRCTC is bound to go up. So when the stock price goes up and the business starts doing well, right? As simple as that. So that was the opportunity to invest in IRCTC, right? So this is how you invest in IRCTC because the market is going down. People panic. People start selling when the market is going down, right? But that is actually an opportunity if the business is right. Not necessarily any stock that is going down, invest in it, right? So that is not. The idea is like Indian Railways that own stock, right?
Yes.
IRCTC is a solid company that's gonna stay there, right? And you're getting the same stock at a discounted price. Like instead of buying at 1600, that was back then, you're getting at 900. And right now it's crossing 2000. Like you see, in 1 year you can double your money, right? You cannot do that with FD. It's like 4%, 5%.
Yes.
Same is like the case with SBI, right? And these companies, it's non-risky company. It's not like some random small company that can like crash the market or something, right? It's a big company. SBI is gonna stay. IRCTC is gonna stay. We're getting there stocks at discounted price. Why not buy it? Right. So
Yes.
that kind of opportunities you need to find. That is the idea of stock market.
Talking about IRCTC, like I was one of the early investors. I got an allotment in IPO, so around 330.
Okay.
But and I almost booked profits around 1,000, so it was almost 3 times up in around 3-4 months, I guess. After that, also did I like entered, exited between somewhere around 1,000 and 1,500 also. The recent IRCTC split, you must have heard of it. So it was really a good boost to the stock.
Yes. So this kind of things, there are a lot of things like, so it's like it's like you can say 80. When I see the market, it's like for me, it's like 70% business, 30% numbers.
Yes.
Right. It's like understanding the business is important, how the business will work in the country, right? So, when the COVID started, like the healthcare segment just bound to go up, right?
Yes.
Like they are going to make more money, right? So you can do a lot of numbers, charts, but if you want to identify the segment, this segment is going to go up, right? But something like any company that is producing hand wash, for example, or mask, right? So, their sale is going to go up. Right. So if you're producing hand wash or hand sanitizer, right? So then this is the company. Like, for example, I give an example of Godrej consumer products, how their price went up, right?
Yes.
Kind of. So you have to connect your present scenario, connect your what is happening around you with the market, and that will be the entry point to start analyzing a stock. And then you go see the numbers, whether the market price is overvalued or undervalued, right? Then you start the journey. So this is how it starts, and then it's a very simple thing. It's not a rocket science. That's people don't understand. Okay. But once you're into it, you're into it. You cannot leave it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like diverging slightly from the concept of traditional finance. So now you might have heard a lot of hype about cryptocurrencies. Like people are seeing cryptocurrency as the next lottery ticket. So as someone like who is in undergraduation or he's like influenced by such posts. So what would be your advice to some people like that for cryptocurrencies?
So this is something that is not regulated, right? This is something. So there is always risk associated with it, right? This is right. So risk is always there, but again, it's like risk and return game. It's always a game of risk and return. So like I remember back in 2017, I invested some small amount, 30,000-40,000 in Bitcoin, and then I forgot about it. Okay. And few days back, I wanted to invest through ZepPay. Okay.
Yes.
And I used my email ID and they said you have already signed it. And then I checked my old email and I said, I used that ZepPay. Back then it was ZepPay. And I saw that 40,000 is like almost 17 lakhs now. Okay. So that is the kind of thing you get from Bitcoin, right? I invested 40,000 and forgot about it. And suddenly I'm opening, I didn't know I have 17,000 in my account, right? And suddenly, oh, fuck. Sorry. No, so great. This is 17,000 I have, right? So that was the best part. Okay. So the crypto in the sense is like, crypto market works on market fluctuation, right? So there are underlying assets, but people don't have that much understanding, right? So use crypto, there is NFT in the market, right?
Yes.
Those are things like, so what is value? What is the price? What you want to assign to it, right? And for stock, this is not the same. There's an underlying asset to it, right?
Yes.
But the crypto and all is like, you do not have any underlying assets. It's like crypto, Bitcoin is going up because there's a demand supply in the market, right? You don't know why the price is going up. More people want to buy it, that's why it's going up, right? It's that value. So thing is like for crypto, I'll say it's a risky thing, but it's a high risk, high gain thing. So suppose you have some amount of money, you're okay to lose, for example. It's not for everyone's advice. For a student, like you have 10,000, you just own from a competition, for example, right? Invest in Ethereum and forget about it. Even after 4 years, what will happen, right? So why Ethereum? Like Bitcoin is already too high. So upside, the probability of upside is already low. Or there are coins like Dogecoin or something, right? But it's like, so I'm not an expert in crypto. Like whatever investment I do in crypto is purely on a market fluctuation. I know price is going up or down. This is something. But the investment in capital market is not based on hunch, right?
Yes.
There's pure science behind it and also the business thing. So this is how it works. Very simple.
So one of the services my firm offers is like, it's a crypto portfolios. So as we were talking, like not only numbers will look behind the projects, because most of cryptos we'll see are from computer science guys. They're working on something like reducing transaction fees for you're sending money to someone. You generally pay a transaction fees, whether it was Razor pay you. What if we could reduce the transaction fee from 1.5% to, let's say, 0.2% or 0.25%? That's a project which is going to catch a lot of merchants. Merchants can save your time. And also the second thing is that it's unregulated. So yeah, there's a bad side to it also. Like it can be used in illegal activities also. But the thing is that if
it's already being used, I mean, it's not can be, right? But
yes,
that's a part of it. Like, so that is the idea of decentralized economy,
yes,
right? Like, no one can track it, right? So it's like, so you cannot track crypto transactions. So that is the biggest problem with government. It's not only they cannot track it, it's like they are losing control on money.
yes,
Right? It's not like the central bank is a sole owner right now. It's like
yes,
people,
yes.
they can make their own money, right? This is the problem with the government. So yeah, so something government will definitely do or something in the longer run. So maybe they will make crypto mainstream. They'll bring regulation in the market. But this is something that cannot stop very soon. This is gonna stay. But how this is gonna stay and how long it will stay, that I have no clue, right? This is, but like NFT, like something I had no clue about NFT. I started reading about it like few months back. And this is crazy, right? People are paying millions for a tweet, to own a tweet. So this is how the modern generation is, right? Whatever value is like the amount you are ready to assign. You sell, I am paying 1 lakh, that means, or 1 million, that means value is 1 million. As simple as that, right? So yeah.
I feel regarding the NFT boom, there are mainly two reasons. Firstly, interest rates, if you look globally, are extremely low.
Right.
So, and secondly, and the Feds are already pumping a lot of money, so people have money in their hands. And stock markets are at almost all-time high. So people don't know where to invest. Like if you can give me an option which can double my money in 2 months, everyone is putting their money into that.
Exactly. So that is it's just like the FOMO. So
yes.
Works on FOMO, right? Well, so I have a lot of friends, like they are experts in NFT, like they're investing there. But when I ask them explain NFT, no one, people little clueless, right? So they're saying, yeah, this is something I bought this cartoon for $200 and I'm selling it for $400. I asked why people are buying a cartoon for $400. And they said they're buying it. I said, okay, perfect. You're making money. You're happy, right? This is something. But yeah, but this is a crazy time. Like for newcomers, I will never suggest go for NFT or so, right? Start with basic things, right? And then once you're confident, like you invest in the capital market and you make 30% profit, take risk with that profit, right? So that is something you can do. But yes, like there is no one science to anything, right? Is up to the individual. I have known people who have made like tens of millions by investing in Bitcoin and investing as simple as 1 lakh and forgetting about it, right? So yeah, so we cannot say about it's a bad thing or good thing. This is something like, yeah, never know. Yes.
A similar thing for my clients also, not in Bitcoins, because as you told, Bitcoin is already too much high in price.
Right.
We didn't go. So we rather went for some alternative coins. We'd see like I love especially like two coins which are of Indian origin. First one is a Matic or Polygon, if you know.
Polygon,
so it's basically reduces the transaction cost on Ethereum. So that's one of the things. And also, if for those who are like interested, you can search layer 2, layer 3 protocols. These are like layer 2 coins. And another is basically you are lending. So basically, when you are lending money to someone, what if you can lend through coins? So there is another Indian startup called Unilend. So these two are like some of the like which are extremely prospective as per our, and we have like invested, we have like multiplied our money. But Matic, I think it was around 20-25 rupees somewhere time in April. And from there it went around 200 in like May to end of May. So we could ride a part of that rise. So that was good for us. And because also as I already told, in cryptos, you need to understand the projects. It's most of the projects which are behind those numbers.
Right. And also the thing is like, say, like just to give, we're also doing something like there is something called FlipIt coins we launched. It's like every engagement with the app, you earn certain coins. The idea is like in the longer run, this coin will something like Credit Coin. You can buy any financial product using this coin. Okay. So for something, the first thing we're launching, it's like if you have say 1 lakh coins, you can convert it into 10,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Okay, yes. Good.
Okay, so we partnered with some Bitcoin company. It's like, so you have this coin. So idea is like you engage with an app, increase your business and investment acumen, and through that you're earning your coins, and then convert it in something that is substantial, right? Something that you can make money out of it. Okay, so this kind of things you're doing. So the idea is like give people some kind of platform where they can come, interact, engage. Like when you decide our app, the architecture of our app when we're building, what are the structures? We divide into 4 steps: discover, learn, engage, and invest. So first, people need to discover things. So I had no clue about NFT. I was reading a newspaper. Oh, NFT is something. If I don't know about NFT, if I don't read, how will I know about it, right? So like the thing is like Bitcoin. People had no clue about it. If I knew about it back in 2011, I would have invested 100 rupees and forget about it. But I came to know about it in 2016, right? So the people have no clue what is happening in the market. So if you ask a lot of students, they don't know what is NFT. Right? It takes 1 hour's effort to know about it. So it is like to discover something, then learn about it. Then the engagement, the part is like you talk to each other, right? Talk to your friends, talk to the people who are using the ecosystem, right? And then only when you're confident about it, then only you invest, right? So this is the entire idea, how you structure it, right? So yeah, that's it.
Okay. So now like moving a little away from finance to the entrepreneurship perspective. So you told that you had done some several jobs before you moved to this full-time entrepreneurship role. So what does it take to switch from like as people say, a stable a career which should give it salary at the end of the month to a risk-taking career like starting your own business? So what does it take for this transition?
Okay, first is like, this is one thing I will tell. It's like no one says, but it's true. Okay, it's like this is something like everyone's a passion and all. These are already given, right? So passion, you need to do something. If you don't like something, you cannot invest 18 hours a day for it, right? As simple as that. But the biggest thing is like creating wealth, and not only for others, for yourself as well. That is something. So if you're doing a business and as a businessman, if you're not creating wealth, then what is the point?
Yes.
Right. So every end goal of a business is to create wealth. People will say passion and all, and in the backdrop of passion, they will make $1 billion. But people won't say about it, right? You're earning $1 billion, right? Why not talk about it, right? So the idea is like, say, when you start something, you have a passion for something. You know there is a market. You see a good market fit about it. So suppose I am earning 100 rupees from a job, right? I can still do the job and build it. But only when someone says there is a potential of converting the 100 to 1,000. So that is something, you know, if you put your all effort there is a huge gain for it, right? So this is something, this drives everyone. No one talks about it, but this is one big motivation. Everyone who is trying to start a business, it should be there. If you're not motivated to make wealth for you, your company, and the people who are investing in your company, then why you are running a business? So the end goal of every business is build wealth, make money. This is number one, right? Number two is like, when you're trying to go about it, do it, right? So the idea is like, you are extremely motivated about it, right? So it's like, if you're not motivated about what you're doing, so there can be multiple businesses. You can make wealth in a lot of ways, right? So it's like as simple as that. I have people like, who are like, say, flat brokers, for example, right? So I have known people, they are making 10 lakhs per month, right? This is something. And that is something that motivates them. But that is something won't motivate me. That cannot be path for me to make 10 lakhs per month, right? This is, so there will be engineers who will be earning say 30,000, 40,000 or 1 lakh just after engineering 4 years of effort, right? This is like, you need to find your motivation, find your niche in the sense, this is something that drives me, that will help me to work 18 hours a day, even work on Saturdays and Sundays. And through which, what is your output is like, you build wealth, you build a company. It's like, so people love it. No matter how much people say they don't love it. It's like, so building something, right? Creating something, there's a lot of challenge, right? This is, so like when I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do, I open Google Analytics and see, and I'm seeing like right now, 37,000 people are using my app, right? So that is something that is, oh, right now 37,000. Like when I say open on the end of the day, so daily active users 100,000, for example, right? So it gives me thinking, right now I can talk to 100,000 people. Talk to in the sense, I can post something in the app and 100,000 people can see it right now, right? So that kind of thing that gives you. So this is the thing, like what you want to build. There are hundreds of ways to make business, make money, right? So that finding the niche is important for you, right? So this is the main thing I will say. It's like, so find your core competency, build a niche on it, and have the goal to build with for yourself, for your company, for investors, and the people around you are associated with it. Like it's like if when someone will be sticky to my app, right? When that is helping them to make money, right? I am not a TikTok, right? I'm not an entertainment business. I'm in the money business.
Yes.
So when people will come back, either they're making money or making profit out of it, then the information they got out of it actually helped them do something, take some action, right? So this is the main thing.
Okay. So for all the budding entrepreneurs who are still in college, so and as we see now, India is also developing financially quite a lot. The total inflow in mutual funds, stock markets has increased drastically after 2015. So what do you think for an entrepreneur who is looking to make something in the financial services, which will be the particular niches in which he can or he or she can build something which can cater to the people?
So I always think something like the biggest problem that lies at the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. And also the biggest opportunity lies at the bottom of the pyramid, right? So whatever the entire market is trying to build now, even what we are trying to build, this is not for the bottom of the pyramid, the top of the pyramid, right? But slowly, we want to help the people. We are launching an English version of the app, Bengali version of the app, Telugu version of the app, something like that. So that people there in a small village, like we have no clue what is happening in the village. Like if you go to village, if you talk about Reliance stock, then what is Reliance stock? What is a stock, right? So the idea is like that section of the people who have no clue about it. It's not like people in the village, they don't have money, right? So the idea is like, say, they have some, say, what if they start with a small investment of 10 rupees in an SIP daily? 10 rupees they can invest, right? So the idea is like, if you want to build something, target something, help those people, right? Yes. Target something that is vernacular. Target something that is a small village in West Bengal. There is some villagers who is earning 100 rupees a day. So from 100, if they can invest 10 rupees somewhere, through some very simple thing, it cannot be complex. They don't have that much time or patience, right? This is something. So build this very simple ecosystem, like being a farmer. Say if I am a farmer, I have 100 rupees, right? So it's like you create as an online offline model. So for them, hand-holding is very important, right? So like why the entire country is focused online right now, because this is easy to spread, easy to build your business, right? And easy to promote. But when you can create something that is an online offline model, you create the entry barrier for your business, right? This is so for me, this is something. If I have to do a next business that is not FlipItNews, I will try to build something for those segment of the people, and that will be a mix of online and offline, right? So that is a huge opportunity, and that's like, you can say it's like a $1 billion opportunity. There's lies, but no one is there. A lot of companies are doing those things, right? But it's not enough. The market is so big, right? So there's always a space to coexist, right? Yes. And there you can also add value, make an impact, and make money, right? So that is always important as an entrepreneur or as a businessman. If you're not focused on building wealth, then you're not doing justice to your job. That is your job, actually. Build wealth. Like there will be people who will be working for you. They'll be looking for salaries, right? So if you're not making money, how you can give them, say, 40% hike every year? Right. Yes, that is very important. This is so, yeah. So that is the first thing. Second is like something like, so I have seen like crypto. That is something is a huge boom in India, right? And not necessarily have to start a crypto exchange, right? But if you can build something on crypto NFT, because the regulation or not regulation, we're not sure. That can come tomorrow, and that can come after 1 year. That may not come, right? The space is open. It's not like unregulated. It's not like illegal. It's unregulated, right? The market is, right? So that is something. If you can build something around it, that is very important, right? And third is like very simple as around literacy, that also we are trying to build. But there is always his market is so big, right? So if you see, there will be, so if our business is like success, we have raised funds, we are also getting traction, right? So we know in next 3 months there will be 10 more competitors, because it's already validated. Yes. And in a longer run, out of 10, 5 will coexist. That is also there, right? This is the different things. So in the finance domain, target should be small people in the villages, right? Help something, make something to help them, and also build something that will mix of online, offline. That will create a huge entry barrier for your business.
Yes.
So that's my suggestion.
Yeah. So I also feel the same way. The financial inclusion like is a must in the coming decade for India, because the small finance banks, whether we see Jan Dhan
Yes.
accounts and also everything, and also I've seen like a few companies which you told about daily SIPs, like for mostly for farmers and day laborers
Yes.
who are like saving like 100, 500, they can go and invest at the end of the day. So those are some ideas which I
Right.
see can prosper the entire nation in the coming decade. So like
Yes.
the final few questions, like one question I need to ask was like, what are the skills you visually visualize in a student who wants to like enter a startup or make a startup in the financial ecosystem? What skills should he or she possess?
So here I will tell something. Here it's like, what is the skill you have? That is not important. Important is the team you build. That is the most important. The team you build, if whether they have complementary skill sets or not, that is very important, right? So when I built the startup, I did my last coding back in 2010, right? So I couldn't code the team, right? But I have worked in product, I have worked in marketing, I have worked in growth. So I knew I needed someone. If I'm thinking this is a product I want to build, and he can convert it into a product who can code, right? This is something. So we have three co-founders, like we have different backgrounds. So my background is mostly in marketing and product, right? Building the product, ideating. I have the other co-founder is like mainly operations and business, right? So you have done business sales. And the third is like purely tech, right? So if you see the horizon, like all three of us is like we are touching every aspects of it, right?
Yes.
The skill set is like, you may be someone, a graduate from say Bengali or literature, right? You cannot code, right? But you are something who can think, for example. Now what you need someone who can convert your thinking into a product, right? And there don't be like, this is my thinking, I'll be owning the company. No, this is not how it works, right? It's like only thinking is not important. Even you can think and I can think, I'll send a rocket to Mars, right?
Yes.
Thinking, like, idea has no value nowadays, right?
Yes.
Everyone has an idea. It's not the execution, and how he executes, the team you build, right?
Yes.
So it's like whatever skill set you have is like is enough or not, right? If you're say kick-ass coder, you can build code like crazy, but you have no clue of the product. Like for an end user, how much like supreme coding is there in the backend, how sophisticated code is there, it doesn't matter. Indian end user doesn't care about it. What is the user experience, right?
Yes.
The user experience that matters. So you need someone who will build the user experience from you, right? For you, like as simple as like I always take that example, like Google search versus Yahoo search, right? Why I never used Yahoo search, like experience was terrible. I didn't want to see an ad when I was searching something. Like after searching, the subtle way is important, right? So build a team. Like it is always easier to make something with a group of 10 people than all alone, right? So that is the most important thing. Find right co-founders, and it's not only about skill set, it's also about the mindset, right? So like with your co-founders, you'll fight on a day-to-day basis. Like they will say I want this, you will say no, I don't want this, right? This is, so that is something. But you have that frequency, right? The frequency matches there, like end of the day, okay, let's come to this and build this, right? That is important. So yes, that's important. Build the right team, find the right co-founders, and see, and also don't build the entire product on day zero. Start with MVP. Like this is some mistake I did in my previous startup. So we don't have that much time. So I also started one thing, and that was something like a social media for glamour industry that we are trying to build. Okay, it's like you can say all the models, actors, and all this, they can come to a platform, right? And then they can find jobs and all. So that was like back in 2015. We are naive, we didn't know the market. So build the product, but we didn't think about whether there's a good market fit about it, whether there's a need in the market. So do a little bit of market research, build in a small MVP, share with 100 people and see their reaction, and then start iterating. But the only thing that works in a startup is your team. That's all. The team you build is make or break, right? So this is the advice I can give.
Elaborating the idea you told about just which is mostly focused on influencer marketing. We're talking about which is happening a lot of days, like LinkedIn or like even on Instagram or TikTok. Like companies are paying people to sell or endorse their products. So yeah, that can be a really good idea to bring them together so that companies can approach all of them at one place. And as
Yes,
we
yes.
already, as we've already seen the recent, if you know the Apna app, it hit a unicorn, it became the unicorn. It's also mostly focused on this bringing together the blue collar jobs people who didn't have
Yes,
a
yes.
proper
I
platform.
told you, na, fortune lies at the bottom of the pyramid,
Yes.
right? So Apna is an example. It's the fastest unicorn in India in 22 months, right? It's the fastest. And like I saw Apna 1 year back, and I was like, "Ye kya hai? Who will use it?" Because I didn't have that vision of the founders of the Apna, right? They saw the problem, right? And now you
Yes.
see, like in 22 months, then unicorn, they're raising 100 million, right?
Yes. Yes.
So solve the problem there who are facing it, and that is the easiest. And people are not very reluctant to go there because there's a lot of operational challenge, right? This is, but if you can break the challenge, the operational challenges, right? The entry barrier you create for your company, right? That's huge, right? That is the thing that Apna did. What is the value of Apna? It's not about the transactions and all, right? The customer they have targeted, and now they have the user base, and now they can like use. For example, I take the example of the company called MyGate. That is like innovation, like so they started with something. It's like when someone is entering an apartment, right? So you will just give access to that. So
Yes.
in like for a layman, it looks like it's short as a company, they will have 1,000 apartments and all. But see, like MyGate can be a marketplace to sell anything, right? So they can sell vegetables to every person in the apartment, right? And they can sell any subscription, right? So this is the company. So you build something, and that is something that was also our vision. The idea is like we, as a company, you think like for a layman, it might look like it's a newspaper or giving news, giving information, right? But our idea is like we're creating a marketplace, right? So this is the idea what we are doing.
But we're talking about, yes, the data aggregators who are bringing together mostly the forums and people. Like we have seen Cred. Cred doesn't have that much revenue, but it has a great like value because it's bringing people, it's bringing together a network and providing data. This is true. So Suraj has a question for you. So he asks basically how to convince that your idea is marketable.
How to convince my idea is marketable. Okay.
Yes.
Convince whom? That is always important.
I think he mostly means the investors who wanted to pitching your idea to, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So see, like for investors, it's like it's nowadays it's very simple. So there are different stages of investment, right?
Yes.
When the investment is happening. So the one stage is like say idea stage, right? This is something where people want to invest. So it's the idea stage, then you need to do all the investment, all the convincing and all, right? But we are in a situation right now, idea stage investment is very less, right? So for the MVP stage investment, like you build a very small product, like so you invest say 10,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, and using that you get some users who are using your app. So every business will have some metric. Like for a business of internet, what we are building, right? Our metric is like say daily active users, monthly active users. So when you have users, you can sell anything in the longer run, right? The user is the most important metric for you, right? So it's like you start with something small, take a small amount from your friends and families if you don't have the money, right? This is, and build a very small MVP, and you show the investors, see, I had 1,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, and with 1 lakh rupees, I can reach this amount of traction. So now, if this 1 lakh rupees, 10 crore rupees, this is something how this will scale, right? This is something you need to build, but you have to always understand, like investor, they're not only investing in your idea, they're investing your capability to execute the idea, right? This is, so it's not like everyone has an idea, as I told you, but it's important who can execute it, right? Yes. This is how it works. So start with small, build some prototype, build the MVP, get some initial traction, and you build a vision. So this is something I want to do. On days you do not have the interest, when you don't know what you're trying to build, right? No one knows, right? Even we are pivoting every other day, right? This is how it works. Like you pivot, you build something, and slowly you reach that stage, right? So this is how it's important. I think I hope I answered your question. If you have any other question regarding that, a follow-up question.
Not a question, I'd just like to elaborate for those who are interested in entrepreneurship. You can do some courses mainly to understand the various types of financing stages, the seed, startup, venture capital, what goes into them and what investors are looking for in those stages.
Okay, so see, like depends on the startup. It's like, so different startups are different ecosystem and different expectations, right? The seed is like something, most of the time it's like, it's a risk for an investor. Like angel investment, it's a risk, right? So, but when the people is ready to take a risk, it's like there's a huge chance of return, right?
Yes.
For example, that is something like, for example, someone say invested in Opna, for example, say for they invested so 1 million for 20% of the share. I don't know the exact cap table of it, right? But the initial seed investment, that, right? So if there was an investor, so like they invested 2 million for 20%, right? And now see, in 22 months, that 2 million is 200 million, right? So this is important, right? So the idea is like, when someone is doing seed investment, you have some prototype in place, right? You have some little, you can say, traction for you, and you are the person the investor can trust. That is very important. Yes. Like 80% of the investment on the people, not the concept, right? So suppose you are two people, you go to investors, I have this idea, right? So now investor also has this idea, right? He can also hire people and build it, right? But this is important to understand. Like the investor knows you are the person who will be able to execute the idea, right? So I think like, so the 95 to 98% startup, they fail, right? Why? Like this is something like, idea is not the only thing. It's about the ability to execute, right? To drive things, right? This is important. So this is the seed stage. Like after seed, like things become simpler after seed, right? So then after seed, it's a function of valuation, like how much you want to dilute at what percentage, right? Because you already executed it. Also pre-series A, series A, it's like, so now you have the MVP ready, you have done the basic research, right? You know the product market fit. That is very important. And then it's like, at what stage, at what valuation you want to dilute your company, right? This is important. And series B onwards is a purely growth. Like, you know, it can be geographical growth, it can be like horizontal as well as vertical growth, right? You want to go into new segments, right? For example, suppose, like, for example, there's a company called InShots, not InShots, FinShots, right?
FinShots,
They started with content. Now they are doing something like they launched their own insurance.
Yes, Ditto, yes.
Ditto insurance, right? So now they're doing the expanding, right? So expanding business line, right? So for example, now they have insurance, they want to market it, right? So they want to reach to every person in the market. So now they need money, right? So there are different stages, different requirements of business, right? There might be businesses who don't want to make money right now, right? So they just want to scale it, reach a certain stage, right? And after that, they want to build an ecosystem, for example.
Yes.
Right? This is so that kind of thing. Like, so like company like so WhatsApp, right? So when Facebook bought them for $18 billion, they're not making money.
Yes.
Right? So the potential, what you can make out of it, that is important, right? So yeah, so this is the difference. There's not one answer to everything. Like you cannot have one answer, but this is the things the investors, they actually see, right? So yes.
So a couple of interesting questions. Pranay has asked, is an MBA really essential for a fintech startup?
No, nothing is essential. Even like engineering is not needed, right? So there are people. So MBA, see, like even I didn't do MBA in finance, right? So mine was strategy and marketing, right? And if you ask me whether I'm a subject matter expert in finance, I'm not, right? So I have the basics of finance and I know the pain points of people. So if you ask me, am I the subject matter expert of the company? No. But am I a target customer? Yes. So when it started, I was trying to solve the problems I was facing on day-to-day basis, right? This is, so the idea is like, say, startups, nothing is important. There are only two things that drive the startup. It's like, I say it's hustle, the how you can work hard, and second is hacks. Hacks are very important, right? It's like, you won't have everything on day zero. Like I said, like we didn't have the money to get content syndication on day zero. So we used web scraping, right? Yes. And no one is stopping that, right? So we can do small hacks. It's like small growth hacks, right? These are very important to build a startup, and the ability to hustle and work hard, right? That is also very important, right? So it's like so how the life of someone who is building a company or doing something is a very sine curve. There will be good days, there will be bad days. Like there will be like extend days, like you will feel like job was good. Yeah, why am I doing this? right? This is something. But the next day when you see that, oh, this is something I'm building. When you see in the morning, this many users are using the app, right? This is something that will actually motivate you, right? So this kind of things. So nothing is important, neither MBA nor engineering. The only important is like your desire to work hard. That's it. Okay. Like so that is even like I have, like, there are people who dropped out in second year.
Yes.
Build startup, like Ritesh Agarwal, right?
Yes. Oyo. Yes.
So he was not neither engineer, not an MBA, right? So nothing is important. Okay.
Okay. So Suraj asks basically, so there are some ideas which are meant for a large scale, but it may fail on a small scale of operation. Like I would like to quote like in Jio. We know Jio was suffering losses, but they had the backup of the entire Reliance group to finance those losses. So what do you think, what would happen? Some ideas which fail on small scale, but may have succeeded if, or launched on a large scale.
So you're talking about like someone wants to build an idea that needs a lot of capital in the day zero.
Yes.
To sustain, right? This was. So see, like raising a lot of capital in day zero is a function of the person. I'll give an example of Kunal Shah, right? So it's like, so Crate is $1 billion company right now, right?
Yes.
And they raised a lot of money, but that was possible because there was Kunal Shah behind it, right?
Yes.
This is like, if I had the same idea, people won't invest $1 billion right now.
Yes.
Because I am not Kunal Shah, right? This is maybe if I am there, people will say invest 10 million or 20 million. Or say this is student from the college, they won't even invest 100 rupees, right? So trying to build a startup that has a huge working capital requirement for a person who has no credibility in the market is very challenging, right? This is, but it's like, say, people know you have built one startup, they have full trust in your credibility, and they know you have this idea. Like you see the example, like Elon Musk, right? How he built SpaceX or something.
Yes.
He started with PayPal. He exited from that company. He made money, right? Even then, the PayPal was, the SpaceX was almost going bankrupt, right? But he fought back, right? This is the thing. So this is not advisable for someone to work on an idea that is a huge working capital requirement being a student or something, right? This is, but it's like you start small, build something. So it's like a scale. You start with one small target market and one small version of the product, right? This is something you start with that, and then you scale slowly, right? So that is something that is very important. But otherwise, it's very tricky. Very tricky, like for a student, of course.
Yes. Okay, so our question, which brings us back to the topic of stock markets. The question is, sir, for a new retail investor, what is the best way to time the market? Is only following the news enough, or there are some KPIs like indicators we need to be aware of?
Yes, so there are hundreds of KPIs. Like if we start discussing about it, we'll take the entire evening, right?
Yes.
So there are hundreds. So it's like, if you just do a fundamental analysis of a company, right? So you just P ratio, for example, right? So you can just see the P ratio, or like the ratio trends, there are ratio trends of the stock, right? What is the growth of the company last 1 year, right? So the stock is going up or down, right? So there are hundreds of, you can just go use any app, like something like Ticker Tape, or something like our app. So even in our app, you have the research feature, right? So you can just search any stock and get the entire fundamental research, or like a website like Screener. So there are absolutely good websites, right? So you can use anything. Even Economic Times, they have all those features. Like this is like a basic feature. Any stock market app has those features. And on top of that, you need to understand whether that is important or not. But again, I say to you, like for an investment, it's 70% business and 30% metrics. Metrics will drive you, but if you're not like investing a huge lot of money, you can invest a lot of time in investment and finding all the metrics. But yes, you have to understand the business that is important. Like for example, if I talk about me, I always focus on three. Like I invest in, like, say, IT, for example, and pharma. So these are two segments I follow regularly. I know what is happening there. I know that when the TCS price might go up, because this is something they are doing a lot of business. The entire world is going for digitalization, right? This is something. So this price might go up when they are about to release their quarterly results, right? So I know their results will be good or something. So this is a sector I follow. So find a sector, I will suggest, and not find a stock. That will be very like small thing. Find a sector. In this sector, I want to invest, right? have some understanding of the sector, follow the news. That is the first step, right? What is happening there? Read about the sector. What is the generic global trend? Not only news is like a daily thing, right? But what is this global trend in the sector? Like, as I said, right? Stock market is like pharma that is going up, IT sector that is going up, right? This is because like everything is going virtual nowadays.
Yes.
Right? This is the thing. So understand that. Then come to the numbers. Number is something that is very secondary. Like if you just go by numbers, so there are already a lot of recommendations available in the market.
Yes.
And everything. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just follow 10 good broker and whatever they're saying, just follow them. And there are people who make money by that as well, right? So I have seen people, they're purely following brokers, and we have people who are emailing us, like the users of our app. They're saying your advice section is so good, we are making so much money. But we tell them, no, it's not our advice section. It's like we just collect it from every broker, right? And that is also another way, right? So it's not rocket science. It's like you find your own niche and start building it. This is how it works. Okay.
Yes. So it's true, absolutely true, that we need to understand the business. Like last December around, so I was managing for a firm, almost a 6 crore fund.
Okay.
So it was almost the total assets under management 6 crores. And we already, and as you know, banks had gone for the NPAs were about to increase due to lockdown. So all banks had gone high, increased their provision, and they had taken a loss, or they had decreased their profits. But we knew that there won't be that much, because from the last few years, we understood the trend that NPAs weren't that much. Particularly, the most hit was the small finance banks. If you look at Ujjivan, AU Small Finance Bank, but their NPA, the AU Small Finance Bank NPA is around 2%, while SBI's is around 7%. But while SBI fell around 30%, AU Small Finance Bank almost fell 60%.
Right.
So that was when we understood that it's undervalued. People are selling out of panic. So not only news, but we also understood the momentum. And so you need to understand the business, what a small finance bank does, how is it different from a large bank. And we invested. So we invested around 600, and we exited around 1,000. So it was almost a 40-50% gain within a matter of 3-4 months with a 6 crore portfolio. So that's why you need to understand the business also, as Dipankar also mentioned here.
Yes, so understanding business is like the sense is a record high right now, right? It's like a complete bullish market, right? This is something. I mean, it's like people have money nowadays. They want to invest in the market, right? And they are seeing growth. And I have seen the interest of the people. There's a new traders that are coming into the market. That is something why also there's a more money in the market. Sensex is bound to go up. Like there's a huge surge of users in the market. So, and people are ready to take risk nowadays. Like they have seen, like, so market is not gonna come back to 15,000 anytime soon, right? Or 14,000. Like it's going up, and it will be swing. It will go down and up. And then longer runs always be uptrend, right? And this is the historical trend, right? We have seen it. So yes, so there is no problem in the stock market. I'll say if you want to be an investor, find some good stocks with good fundamentals and good people running the show. That is very important, right? Good people running the show. And go for long term. This is the basic thing. Like you can go intraday and all. That's like a lot of headache, right? It's like every morning you wake up and do all this thing. If it's a full-time trader, that is a big thing, right? So yeah, this is how it works. And also keep an eye on the stock. What is happening? There's always risk associated with it, right? If you invested in Vodafone at 180 and you just chilled for 8 years, right? So you won't see 360, right? So yeah, it's a basic thing you need to track. You need to keep tracking your portfolio, what is happening to that, whether there's a problem with the company, right? This is very important. So these things you keep track and just chill. Chilling is very important. You cannot panic on everything that is happening in the market, right? This is like one example is like Indigo shareholders, right? So lockdown is going down, but you know, like people will fly again. Like flying not gonna stop, right? And like the people, all the flying companies going bankrupt. So there will be huge rush in these companies. So even if like Indigo was below 1,400, 1,300, don't panic. And see now it's reaching 2,200. So not panicking is very important to be invested in stock market. That is the most important thing I'll say, because you understand the business. Like at the same time, Vodafone, if it is going down, you have to take the signals, right? Why this is going down? So they don't have money. They're making huge losses, right? And there is no one backing them, for example, right? So this kind of thing, you know, like here I can make a little loss and exit. That is something like that. So this kind of things are very important.
So last question from me, basically. So as both a professional, as an entrepreneur, so what do you think are the most sectors which are going to drive the growth of India in the coming decade? sectors from like both established businesses as well as entrepreneurship?
So there are a lot of sectors, like everything is going to go. There's a one sector I am very curious right now, and I know that will drive, that is a EV sector, electric vehicle sector, right? So that is something I am really interested in right now, right? How this is growing, because EV is the future, right? This is something. EV is the future, and 10 years down the line, this is something that will be driving, like you will see 70% of the vehicles, electric vehicles, for example.
Yes.
It's not only about that, but it's like, there are a lot of companies, like they are saying in like next 10 years, will be 80% like in electric driven, right? That is one sector. And when we analyze a sector, don't only go for that sector, people were enabling that sector. For example, if Ola Electric is building EVs, like electric vehicles, people were providing them the spare parts, right? That industry is very important, right? Also keep an eye on that. So that is one sector where I'm very bullish, right? And second is like the sector is like the finance sector. That is bound to go up, right? The capital market and investment. You see the, energy in the youth, right? So that's like you see that this guy is like they're third year, fourth year students, and they want to know about capital market, stock market.
Yes.
When I was back in 2008-9, I had no clue. Like, and I didn't even want, if there's a session like this, I wouldn't have joined. Right? This is something, because I had no clue about the market. But now, because of not only the market sentiments, Harshad Mehta, the Big Bull, the stories, like, so there is a lot of the movies, they also drive the sentiment.
Yes, yes.
And like there is no growth in fixed deposit, right? People know what is inflation.
Yes.
Like back in engineering days, I had no clue what is inflation, right? So I will just put my money. I never even invested. I kept it in my savings account. Okay, I didn't know paisa बढ़ता भी है, ऐसा कोई idea नहीं था. Okay, so I just kept it there and it is a loss, right? But nowadays people know, why just keep it there idle, right? I can put it in the market for 10 days. And after that, I can do some swing trade, right? This kind of literacy is there. There's a huge interest in the market, in the people, right? So they want to know what exactly happening in the market. And yes, the financial sector is gonna boom. The electric vehicle sector is gonna boom. So these are the two sectors. I think my top two priorities. Okay.
So that was all the questions from me. Any questions from the audience? They would like to ask something to Dipankar?
Audience already bored.
I think we have a question in YouTube. Like, it's been streamed in YouTube also live. So
Okay.
The question is, how can we enter in stock or share market at, I think, 20 years of age without any knowledge?
Yeah, so you already discussed about it, like it's 20 years of age in the stock. So if you're specifically talking about stock market, it's like, so have some basic knowledge, like how the market works, right? This is something like, and start with a very small investment. Like say, I start with 1,000 rupees and want to see the dynamics of the market. Like start with 1,000 rupees that you want. So say, people say you put the money, you won't mind if the money is zero, but it never happens. Like, trust me, if you put 1,000 rupees, it can maximum become 900 rupees or 800 rupees, unless you are putting in some random stock, right?
Yes.
So, and start with some established company, like you start with the Reliance, right? So Reliance is not going to stop in India, right? To start with SBI, right? Companies are very good companies. Start with some other company. This is like a large cap company. So like start with say the IOCL, for example, right? Coal India, right? They're gonna stay and see how the market works. So buy one share of each, for example, and see how your portfolio is swinging, right? How the fluctuation is happening in the market. Then we'll know after 1 month, your 1,000 rupees will be either say 1,100 or 1,050, or it will be 900. But you will actually understand the 900, maybe Reliance went up by 30 rupees, but Coal India went down by 20 rupees. This will happen. But then you will understand, now it's a game of scale, right? You have to make your 1,000 or 10,000, but don't go for random suggestions of your WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups. So there are a lot of suggestions by proper brokers, like say, for example, Kotak Securities, ICICI, there are a lot of brokers in India. Take one suggestion. Like even we have seen people who have no clue about that, they use the advice section of offer app, right? See this, invest small, understand the mechanisms of the market, how this works, right? And once you understand that, then do little study. That is very important. Like if you're going into something, little knowledge is important, right? Study. There are a lot of apps right now. Like everyone is talking about stock market. You can do some online course, everything is free, right? So there are like people like Rachna Ranade, like her videos are absolutely amazing, right? It's like there are apps like Zero the Varsity. There's so much content, right? Even like our app, you see the circle, you have a lot of content, you can learn about stuff, right? And there are companies like eLearn Market, Sticker Tape, everyone is there.
Yes.
So download something, invest small amount, right? See, understand the mechanism of the market. And it's like something you learn while doing it. There is no way you can learn it by reading, right? So it's like you invest in the market and you suddenly see you cannot invest in this stock today because it hit the lower circuit or upper circuit. Then you suddenly understand what is upper circuit, right? So then there will be curiosity. Oh, upper circuit is like already the maximum that stock can go up today, right? So you cannot buy this stock anymore. Or there's something lower circuit. It's like you cannot sell it, right? So these things you'll understand, but this is you cannot just like the way you cannot learn swimming by reading. The same like you cannot learn stock market by reading. You have to go there, start investing, start with small, and slowly you have all the mastery of the market. So that's how it works. Okay. Any other question?
I think Pranay has asked one question, like, how do you get the fundamental data in the market? Like, there are no APIs.
So in our app?
I think he's just talking about your app here.
Yeah, so we have APIs from BSc and NSE. Okay, so they have all the APIs. It's like even you say any broker, like they all have all the APIs and they're accessible, right? So
yes,
yeah, BSc and NSE, they have all the APIs, you get all the data. This one.
Yes, BSc, NSE, money control, even in case of cryptos, coin market cap, the APIs you can easily embed on your websites.
So money control, they don't provide API. They also use BSc NSE API.
Yes, they're like, you are basically redirecting the APIs to the BSc NSE sites.
Yes. So whatever data points we have, we are getting it through APIs.
Yep.
Yeah. This is.
Okay. So I don't think there are any more questions. Like, it was really insightful and a lot of amazing stuff. So anything like the ESL would like to ask or talk about, Dipankar, they can like take over now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was quite insightful actually. I had a great time listening to Dipankar and even you, Santanda. That very much section when you actually talked about you being like investing 10K, 40K, I guess, and then you having that as some 20 lakhs. It was quite I have been actually winning competitions and what to do with the competitions money. That is not a big money, right? Like 10,000, 20,000. We can't do anything out of it. एक iPhone ले लेंगे उससे ज़्यादा क्या ही उखाड़ लेंगे.
So I tell people don't buy iPhone, buy Apple stocks.
Yes.
Right. This is something you can do. Right. So there is an example like if someone bought an Alto 10 years back and instead of that, they invested the same money in Maruti stock. Right. So difference you will see. The Alto ka value 0 hai, but uska value was 10x hai, right? This is something. So yeah, but you also have to live life, right? It's not like whatever money you have, you just invest and then you don't live. That is not important, right? You find a balance, right? So instead of buying iPhone 12, you buy smaller
iPhone X and put the rest of the money in Apple stocks.
Money put there, or it's like in the later stage, like when you start earning, then you buy the higher version of the iPhone, right? But never buy an iPhone on EMI. That's not you don't need to take an EMI to have a phone. Like you can get all the features in a 20,000 or 10,000 worth of phone, right? So don't ever do that. That is something.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so I had a great time actually speaking to you and listening to you, and like me being an aspiring entrepreneur, like at some point of time I would like to actually be an entrepreneur to just get along with my idea and then see what happens with that. At some point of life I would actually love to have that. So yeah, that's the thing.
You start right now. So there is no time. So like point is like you start, you'll fail. You'll start again, you'll fail. That is the journey, right? But in every failure, you gain something. Like I will tell you the tech co-founder, the Dipta I have with me. I met him during my previous startup, which failed. But I met him there. That is the biggest gain, right? So this company exists because I met him there, right? So those are the things very important. You meet people, you make connections, right? That is very important. So if you're doing something, you make connections. So it's not like it has to be big something, right? It can be very small. Like in our college, I'll give example. So there is in my IIM, so that was in the top of a hill, right? And there is a problem of food delivery. So there are people who started one company called Bhook Lagi. So they used to source food from the outside restaurants and created something, mark up the price and sell it to the students. For student, it was fine. It's convenience. I don't need to go to the city. And that startup was profitable startup, right? And it's not a huge idea, right? But they're making 20,000, 30,000 profit each every month. And as a student, that is a big thing, right? So that
That's
kind of you can always start.
That's for true.
Yes.
Yeah. So so that's it from our side, and we would actually love to join you also in, like, if we get a chance, we would actually love to join FlipItNews to be a part of the journey, right?
Yes. I already told you, like, whoever is interested, just get in touch. There are a lot of things we can do together.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. That's for true.
Yeah, so we can have a separate discussion on that. Okay, and we can do a lot of things together.
Yeah, sure.
I think already few of your friends already joined.
Yeah, Shanawaz was actually talking to, like, the day Shanawaz had a meeting with you, he did came to me and told me there's this Dipankar Da, he's very passionate about things and everything. So so looking forward to that actually.
Perfect. And it was really awesome. Like the thing you showed in the beginning, the campus tour and all, that was like brought back a lot of memories. Right. Awesome. Perfect.
It's full of nostalgia.
Yeah, I know. For you, it's not that.
Yes, 2 years.
Yeah, for it, yeah.
For us, a lot of people, a lot of coordinators and team members, I haven't actually been to campus. Like they have been to campus for 1 or 2 times, but like they are in second year, they haven't got a campus life till now. It is actually very unfortunate, but hard times what to do with this one. So that's it, I guess. Invanti, do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you, Dipankar and Shantanda, for taking time out of your busy schedule for joining us in this session. So that is it for this session, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being
Thanks a lot.
such
Thanks a lot, Shantan. We should definitely catch up very soon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Same.
Thank you, Dipankar. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Meet you all tomorrow for the panel discussion. Speakers from varied domains would be joining us. Thank you.
Okay.